up the Postgres server and MySQL server by using Docker commands. In this video, I will explain how to write the Docker compose file for the setup of Postgres and MySQL as well as pgAdmins. So if you want to run the MySQL Postgres by using Docker commands, it is very complicated to know the commands each and every time. So instead of using the Docker commands for running the MySQL Postgres, we can write a Docker compose files. Docker compose files we need to write only once, and we can use anywhere where where our requirement where our business requirement is need. So let's go to Notepad++. Here I have already. Let's open the new tab. Now going to define the version. In version we have passed the 3. Now going to save it first. Going to C drive. In the C drive I have already created a Docker compose file. In last video I have shown you how to set up the Kafka. So that time I have created the Docker compose folder. I am going to select save as a YAML, and here defining the db setup.yml. Now let's define the services. So first service I will define MySQL. Here defining the MySQL. Here defining the MySQL image. So defining MySQL image Bitnami colon MySQL. Going to define container name of MySQL. Let's define the ports. Here uh, we have passed the external port as a 3309 for accessing the MySQL databases. Now going to define internal container port. Internal container port will run 3306 port. Now going to define environment variable. Here passing the MySQL. If you don't want to password authentication, then you need to define empty allow empty. Just I need to recall the environment variables. So I'm going to Docker Hub registry. Yeah, here typing the MySQL. Going to Bitnami MySQL images. Let's go down. Here you can see the environment property. Allow empty password as a true. So I'm going to edit plus here defining password as a true. So right now I don't want to log in the databases without using username password. So I'm commenting it and defining another property which needs to log in the username password. So MySQL, there is another property MySQL root. Here defining the root user as a admin and defining the root user password as a admin and defining the database's name MySQL database as a MySQL MySQL test DB. Now going to define the networks. Now going to define the networks. So here I am going to define networks DB setup. Now here defining the driver as a bridge. Going to pass the network name here as a DB setup. Yeah, now it is fine. So I'm going to CMD commands. You can check right now. There is no image available and there is no running container available. So first, when we will run the docker compose, docker com- compose, it will pull the images from the docker hub registry. After that, it will run, creating the container. So I'm going to C drive, docker compose folder, cd, docker compose folder. Now going to run the docker compose file. So there is a command docker compose -f and db setup up. Don't worry, I will provide all the commands in the description. You can check in the description box. So I'm going to run it. First, it is pulling the images from the docker hub registry. Let's wait until the images are not pulled. Yeah, now you can check docker images pulled in the first step, and second one is network bridge created. Now third one is creating the MySQL container. Once MySQL container created, then we need to connect the MySQL by using MySQL workbench. So I'm going to open MySQL workbench here, typing and opening it. Yeah, now it is opening and removing the existing connection. Once container created, then we need to check the MySQL server is up or not. So waiting until container not created. Yeah, now container is created and MySQL server is going to up. Let's wait until MySQL server is not up. So let's open another command. Here checking the running container. You can see here. So I'm going to open the logs by using docker logs app and container name. Yeah, it will take lots of time for MySQL server is up. So let's wait until MySQL server is. Yeah, now you can see here MySQL server is up. In the log file, you can see ready for the connection. If if you see the logs here, it is available the ready for the connection. Once this message appears in the log, then only you can connect to the MySQL server. So I'm going to workbench for checking purpose. So here defining the connection as a docker compose MySQL and here passing the port. As you see, going to cmd command here, as you see the outer port is 3309. By using this port, we can connect the MySQL server. This port will internally diverted to this port of the container. So I'm going to pass here 3309 and passing the name username as a admin and going to test connection. Here we need to pass the right password. So I'm entering the right password and clicking OK. Continue anyway. OK. Now going to click OK button. Double click here. Yeah. Continue. Here you can see the database's name which I have provided in the YAML file here. Okay. Let's let's provide the Postgres information as well for the running Postgres server. So here going to define the another services name as a Postgres and defining the image name as a Postgres, defining the container name we are going to pass as a Postgres and defining the ports as well. I am going to define port 5454 colon 5432. This is the container port number which will run. Now going to define environment variable. Here we are going to pass the Postgres Postgres user as a admin and passing the Postgres password as a admin and PostgreSQL as a Postgres test DB and providing the network's name by using DB setup. Now also we need to define the pgAdmins. No need to install the pgAdmins. By using docker-compose it will up and there will be a port. By using that port you can access the pgAdmin. So I'm going to Docker Hub registry here searching the pgAdmin4 pgAdmin4 pgAdmin4. So you can see D page admin 4 images appear. So I'm going to use these images for setting up the PG admin. So here going to PG admin and providing the image name as a DB page PG admins and container name providing the PG admin. Now defining the ports. So here defining the outer port as a 7070 7090 and internal port is 80. Now passing the environment variable as well. So we need to check the environment variables information. So I'm going to HTML. Here you can see the environment variables name going down. Yeah, you can pass the pgAdmin default email. So I'm going to pass this one and here defining java at the rate gmail.com or anything as your email id is there and defining the pgAdmin. Here I'm going to pass as a admin and email we have defined java or let's change it admin at the rate gmail.com and passing the network's name. All three images will connect the same same networks. Now saving it and going to run. So stopping this one, also closing this cmd, stopping the running container by pressing Ctrl and C commands. Yeah, now let's check the running container. There is no running container and let's check the stopped container. I'm going to remove stopped container by using docker rm container name commands. Now there is no running container. I'm going to clean the local docker. So there is a command docker system prune. By using this, you can clean all the unused images and unused images containers stopped containers and networks. Let's check the available images in our local Docker. Yeah, there is only one images right now available MySQL. Then when we will run the Docker compose files, it will pull the Postgres images as well as pgAdmins because that image is not available in our local Docker registry. I am going to run the Docker compose file by using docker compose -f and docker YAML files name and up command. Yeah, it is going to pull the Postgres image as well as pgAdmins. Let's wait until images are not pulled. Once images are pulled, then it will create the networks and create the containers of Postgres, MySQL and pgAdmins as well. So waits until images are not pulled. Yeah, now images are pulled. You can see here in the CMD Postgres images pulled, pgAdmins images pulled, and now it is created the container. No, sorry, networks, and going to create pgAdmins container, MySQL container, and Postgres container. Let's wait until the containers are not created. Let's check Docker PS. There is not creating any container. Let's wait until containers are not created. Yeah, now container is created. Let's open the CMD. I have already opened the CMD here. Let's check the running container and going to check logs. The Postgres server and MySQL server are up or not. Let first check the Postgres because Postgres take less time. Yeah, right now it is going to initialize. Let's wait until Postgres server is not up. Yeah, you can check Postgres server is up and database created, which I have provided in the YAML file. So I'm going to close the log files and let's check another log, docker logs -a and pgAdmin log. So it is right now configuring only. It is it will also take some times. Let's check another as well, docker logs -f MySQL. Yeah, it is also take some times. So let's wait until the MySQL server is up and pgAdmins as well is up. Let's check the log files. Yeah, right now it is going to up server, MySQL server. Let's wait. Now you can see the MySQL logs ready for connection. Text is appear in the logs, so MySQL server is also up. So I'm going to MySQL here, closing the existing connection and double click the connection and passing the password as a admin, which is defined in the YAML property YAML file. Yeah, you can see here. Now I am going to show you pgAdmins. pgAdmins right now I think it is not up. Let's check pgAdmin as well. pgAdmin. Right now pgAdmin is not up. Let's try it. Localhost 7090. Oh, it's up. So in the YAML file, I have defined the default username and password as admin @ gmail.com and password as admin. So I'm going to add the username as admin @gmail.com and password entering as admin. Here you can choose the your languages. Going to click never save. Now you need to add the new server. Here define the Postgres dev like that, and going to connection. Here defining the connection name as a localhost and port as a, let's check the Postgres port. So I'm going to close this one and check the running container. Here the port is defined 5444. So we need to pass 544. Now define the databases. As we can see the YAML file here, databases name as a Postgres test DB. Let's and define the username as a admin and password as a admin. I think we have passed admin. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to save it. Fail to connect. Hi, the connection is server on the accepting TCP and host. Admin I have passed and password as well. I have passed here. Let's check the 544. Yeah, that is fine. Let's check again. Docker ps docker logs -f Postgres. It is not connecting. Hi 544. Database ready to accept connection. I have passed this one and maintenance DB password. Here passing the password admin as well. Clicking. Let's check here. It is secure or not. So it is not secure. Then hi tunnel host password. No need to pass this one. Clicking OK as well. Connection failed. Port 1. So let's define as a Postgres and saving it. It is also not taking. Why it is not going to connect? Let's check. Going to CMD. If I check in the pgAdmin, which I which I have already installed in my local. So I'm going to open our pgAdmin without using dockers. So let's check. Removing the existing connection here. This will also going to create new server. Here defining the Postgres dev and trying to connect here. So defining localhost port number as a 5444, and here defining the database's name, here defining the username, here also entering the password. Now going to save it. Yeah, it is connected. In the local Postgres, local pgAdmins, it is connected, but by using Dockers, it is not connected. Why? Yeah, let's check the running Docker container. Here, this is the external port and this is the outer port. And going to YAML file, in here you can see that we have defined the networks. By using these networks, we have connected all the running container. So let's check. Let's in the connection, let's pass the Postgres as a container, because if you see the in YAML, Postgres is running on this network DB network, and pgAdmin also running on this network DB setup. Now they will internally communicate. So I'm going to define here Postgres, and here defining the port of Postgres container. The Postgres container port is 5432. This is the outer port. So I'm going to define here container port and defining the database's name and username as a admin and password we are passing the admin as well. Now going to save it. I hope it will connect. Yeah, now it is connected. You can see here, going to schema public, here table. There is no table because I have not created the table. So by using docker compose file, you can run the MySQL as well as Postgres as well as pgAdmins. No need to run one by one and no need to install the pgAdmins in local system. If you are using the docker compose file, in the docker compose file, you just define the MySQL images information with the environment variables and port networks as well as Postgres images information and con- container name, port number, environment variables, same as pgAdmins as well. This YAML file I will provide in the description and commands as well we will write in the description. You can check description box. Thank you for watching my video. Let's meet in another video. Thank you.